Growing up as a Black woman in this world comes with a lot of challenges. As a mother, it's so important that we learn how to instill confidence in our girls and our boys. That's why it's so important to have a father figure, but that's a whole nother topic. But if you look at TV shows like Disney channels and the Nickelodeon, these different shows, like people think that these things don't have an impact on children. You watch what is veered as beautiful, like you have the Zendayas and I can't really think of any other like people right now, but she just came to mind because there's a standard of beauty that they put on a pedestal, and your kids do learn that. Now, in this video, it says why Kalani got her implants removed. I don't know who this woman is, but basically she's going to go over why she got her implants removed. So I just wanted to talk about this and touch on it. And it's really important to have these difficult conversations because you have to be talking to your child. You have to be repetitively letting them know through words and actions that they are beautiful. Okay. They are handsome. This world will try to make it seem otherwise. But let's see what she has to say.
Lonnie, you got your implants removed?
I did. It's the
How
best
long
thing
did
I
you
ever
have?
did. Like 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
And why did you said the best thing? Why did you get them removed?
They're making me sick.
Like physically?
Like physically, mentally, all the things are making me very sick.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did you get them?
Yeah.
Why did you get them?
I got them because I wanted them.
Young.
And
You wanted?
I think there was a misquoted interview that said, like, I got them because everybody made me feel like I needed them. But really what it was, I was reading in the comments. There was a lot of comments on how my body looked and how I remember it went viral. There was a video that was like, damn, Keanu just built bad. And I was like, oh, shoot. And at the time, I was like 20, 21. It was a process that nobody could figure it out. And the naturopathic doctor was like, wait, are your breasts fake? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, have you ever considered that you might have breast implant illness? And I was like, what is that? And when I looked it up, there were all these stories. Mind you, I had never even heard about this.
So that was the end of the clip. I just wanted to touch on just a few things that stood out to me why this is such a thing. So I used to be insecure about my body and I really had no reason to. Like it's wild. And I'm not trying to say this to be whatever the case is. I've given birth to 4 kids and I don't look like it. I'm saying this from a standpoint of when God blesses you, he blesses you. Okay. He definitely blessed me. It's just that as a woman, you could start comparing yourself. And I don't know how this woman's body looks. I don't know, but there are going to be people that are going to say whatever they want to say because they like a certain body type. One of the things I noticed that she said in the video was when he asked, why did you get it? She said, because I wanted to. Okay. And then she said there was a misconception that she got it because she's saying that other people were like basically pushed her into that, and that was incorrect, she quoted. And it's funny how that's how a lot of women do have this delusional aspect. I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that, but that's just the truth of it. Women base a lot of their reasoning on emotion and pride, because no one really wants to be seen and said, oh, I got this done because other people said that, because then you be giving those other people control over what you do in your life. People that don't pay your bills, or maybe they do, because I don't know who this woman is, because whatever the case is, but even if still you offer some type of entertainment factor or whatever you do to get that money or whatever the case is, right? That's not really what I'm talking about in this video. But you do, she said that she didn't do it for because of other people, and then it turns around and says that she saw a comment that said that, wow, maybe Kalani's just built bad. Okay. First and foremost, she's racially ambiguous. And just letting y'all know, race is something that was created. It isn't real, just a system used to separate us. That whole term in itself is, but that's for a whole nother video. I'm not sure if she's like, she looked like she has like Spanish in her or something up to that effect. So just imagine for, her, she's considered the mainstream beauty. Okay. She's considered that type of situation where she'll get picked in a movie, Hollywood role, whatever the case is, over someone who has warmer tones. Right. And that's just a fact. And that's why I mentioned Zendaya, because even Zendaya mention that yes, she does have privilege. She does have the access to a whole bunch of roles. You see her in so many movies. It's not that they don't have anybody else that's as talented or as beautiful as her. They just pick who is according to what they want to put out there, what they want your kids to see as beautiful. And of course, allegedly, Zendaya sold her soul. There's many different pictures of her putting up those hand signs for that secret club. So they choose the people, and that's how they get hired. They choose those people, right? So she's in denial, but she did it ultimately for other people. Now, I've known of a lot of women, and I've had conversations with as a girl growing up and into womanhood, and they label it as a name. It's called body dysmorphia, and it's like, and this is something that I've truly seen as truly seen as being true, and you'll see it today. Is that beautiful women be the most insecure women? Like beautiful women, who, you know, it's something like you're always chasing, you're always comparing. And what we really need to be chasing is the Most High, his knowledge, his understanding. And God had put it on me to create this book, Value Virtue, basically going over the things I wish I had known before, even laying down with a man, not knowing that you're supposed to be laying down with your husband, and how vital and how important it is, the experiences that I went through, that God let me go through, and that you can learn from. Or if you know, have a niece or, you know, your daughter who somebody you feel probably know a little too much, because a lot of these kids know too much right now. And then I also have another book, Melanated and Expecting. These are the things, it was over a few hundred pages of value, things that I can't really talk about on these platforms, things that if I had known, if I had listened, would have avoided so many different things. And things I can't talk about, and like about the pharmacia companies and the governments that try to intoxicate your youth and whatnot. But if you do like the content on this channel and you agree with the message that I'm trying to send out, then you can show your support, hit the link in the description, and also gain tremendous value. Back to the video. Everybody is going to be built differently. Everybody is going to look differently. There are certain assets that you as a woman have that another woman, and I'm just talking about physically, which is completely vain and shallow. These are things that like eventually you're going to age. Eventually, these are things that are going to stay with you the entirety of your life as you age up. That's why I stress the importance of using those years that you have in your prime, using those years that you have, of course, not to necessarily be out here looking for a husband, because if you create a relationship with God, if that's in his will, it's going to come, right? But to value your body and to value the virginity, that your God-given virtues, besides just your virginity, but honor. There's a lot of women who have these regrets that she took out her implants because they were making her sick. Okay, they call it BLL. Okay, and if you notice, they're also saying that it isn't even recognized as like a formal thing, and they're not mentioning any of the mental, aka spiritual things that goes on with it. But that's just how the medical system play. Breast implant illness, they don't really put that stuff out there, but she's not the first person that I've heard of who had bad symptoms and it affected their overall health. It also affects your breastfeeding. They don't even really go over these type of things that they try to make it seem like it's, oh, you're good, you could still breastfeed and it'll be normal. No, now it's going to be a battle to produce milk, because you have these huge implants in the way. Your body knows that that's a foreign object. Okay, it's not healthy for you to put these silicones or whatever the case is in your body. They could access, these women really truly hate themselves. If that implant even leaks, it could go into your bloodstream and cause a life-threatening response from your body. I can't even imagine living on a day-to-day basis. You know, I'm sure that these girls work out and stuff like that, being afraid of tripping and falling on your breasts, like, and then it could pop. That's like you have to tiptoe around in your life. But I say all of this to say that breast implants, silicone, BBLs, silicone injections, all these things aren't going to fulfill you. Okay. She said it was making not only her have inflammation in her body, but it was also affecting her mentally. Okay. And that's like a worldly way of saying spiritually. It was affecting her spiritually because these things are not supposed to be in your body. That's not wisdom. It's not wise to throw all of your investments on beauty, which I don't even feel like these things really enhance you as much as make you look fake. Okay. And that's why it's important to instill certain things in your daughters. There's women that are suffering, okay, from the skin cancers, from doing bleaching, but they don't have huge followings and they don't want to put it out there. Okay. But skin bleaching, breast implants, butt implants, things of that nature. Okay. The women that you see, the Cardi B's, and I just say that because they're the main primary examples. The Nicki Minaj's, they're mentally ill. Okay. They're spiritually ill. That's why they go and they get these things and they aren't satisfied with themselves, even though they didn't need the surgery in the first place. And there is nothing holding you back from going. Everybody has different circumstance, but as you work through life, you could go to the gym. There are some amazing results from just hitting the gym. They try to make it seem like your body isn't capable. Obviously, there's levels to certain things, but if you go to the gym, you work on your body and look the best that you can look, you'll be surprised about how dramatic those results can be. But it just takes a lot of work, and a lot of people try to cut through corners. Okay, a lot of people try to cut through corners, but I say all that to say is teach your daughters, okay, that it's more than just the way that you look, okay, and that if you want a husband, that's the perfect thing. You only need one guy who genuinely cares about you. One guy who doesn't, whether your boobs are sitting up one moment, because after childbirth, them boobs is gonna be sitting down a little bit. They're gonna be sitting a little different. Okay. Your behind is gonna be sitting a little bit different. You might gain a couple extra pounds. It just depends. You might go through some type of stress in your life where you lose some weight. These are all the things that you need to be thinking about when considering who you choose as a husband, who you choose to lay down with. You don't want to be like these mentally ill celebrities and these mentally ill influencers and these mentally ill Instagram models that look like, I saw a comment before, that look like ants, and they do. There's when God does something naturally, it looks right. Even if these women are chasing after a certain image, they never fully, you can't, even though these doctors are getting better, you can't fully have what, I mean, yeah, there are some really good doctors. By that, I mean good technique, not to say that it's good out there. Not gonna lie, they have a lot of practice and know a lot of techniques and stuff like that. But even still, the woman isn't fulfilled. The woman is banking on people that expect the absolute best to like them, to love them, and that's not even real love. This is a spiritual battle out here, and you have to teach your kids how to value their bodies and what to really look for in somebody. The last thing you want is somebody who just loves you because you have great breasts or you have a big bottom. That's superficial. And those are the people that if anything was to happen, or if somebody better looking came along, they wouldn't hesitate to start over. They'll move on quicker than you think because you're replaceable at that moment, because there are a bunch of different women who look similar. If you notice, a lot of women look at the same nowadays because they're all getting the same surgeries, they're all doing the same skin lightening, they're all doing the same stuff. Teach your kids to value their virtue, create a relationship with the Most High. That is the thing that you need to be focusing on, because at the end of the day, this life is temporary. This life is a temporary test to see where your mind is at, where your spirit is at, and who you choose in the end, because Jesus is on the way. So pick up that Bible, read, even if it's a few pages a day, and gain that discernment through the Most High. He knows your heart and he loves you. But be blessed.